And then a second sentence, you're filling in that blank. The blank scares me in the haunted house. And in conclusion, what are you going to talk about? We are not talking about other pictures besides the two things that we've talked about. Got it? All right.
In your jobs during 7th period, do you guys use teamwork?
Yeah.
Teamwork makes the dream work. Teamwork does make the dream work.
It's really neat. We have a lot of similar characteristics, so we can work together. So it's interesting because I view her at certain times as my daughter, but not all the time when we're having, conversations about kids and stuff. I just kind of view her as a colleague, but I have to remember in the end, like when we go home, like kind of to draw that line and realize she is my daughter still.
Mm-hmm. I would say it's definitely something I never expected. Even when I was going to college and I was trying to figure out what part of education I wanted to specialize in, and then I even decided on special education, I never thought I'd be at the point where I would be doing high school multi-needs, even though I've grown up around that program my whole entire life. But it's been really cool. It's awesome to work with my mom. I feel like our relationship has gotten much stronger because we have to communicate so much and we literally have to just spend so much time together. And I also think it's increased my appreciation for her. Obviously I appreciate my mom, but just seeing everything that she does on a daily basis and getting to experience that at the same time is really cool. So I'm enjoying it.
How are you called to be a special education teacher?
My whole entire life, I have grown up around individuals with special needs. I had an aunt who had a cognitive disability. I had a grandmother who had a physical disability, pretty severe. And my parents have always either been in the special education world, whether in teaching, in special recreation leagues. So I feel like I've kind of seen it all ever since I was younger. So I almost feel like in some ways I learned how to manage how students with disabilities act at the age of 6 years old. And so I think that really kind of pointed me in the direction of I'm very comfortable with it. It's something I love, and it also started a passion of I want them to be included and as comfortable in a social situation as a general education person would be.
Early of age, my kids were either going or doing some volunteer work even before they should have done doing some volunteer work. We just thought it was a really great experience. It develops a lot of compassion. And it's just something that every day is different in in education. You don't know what your day is going to bring. It's not a same repetitive job, so it keeps it changing, which I think that's an interest for me. I don't like the sameness every single day, and I just really enjoy the population. When I started to go into special ed, I did a lot of trying to figure out what avenue of special ed I wanted to work with, and I really enjoy the multi-needs population. I have varying disabilities in here. From pre-readers to 3rd grade reading level. So I enjoy that flexibility of having all those different types of learners.
Melissa, what is the thing you are most proud of about your daughter?
She's not scared. I was probably, in my early years of teaching, probably more scared of calling parents and dealing with difficult situations, and she has developed such a strong confidence that I've got to, now that I'm working develop with her on a daily basis, I get to watch her and I'm like, wow, that was really great that you did that. I need to probably be more encouraging because she does do a lot of really good things and things that I just probably would never even have dreamed that we would be in this spot.
Alexandria, what do you look up to most about your mother?
I look up to her tenacity, so the way she perseveres in hard situations. I look up to her calmness. There's a lot of things you see in life and in the multi-needs program that will shock the average person. Shocks me, I would say, sometimes on a daily basis, and how calm she handles it. And I'd also say the amount of love that she has for kids and for her job.
What is the most basic thing that you do, that you make certain that you do every day so that you're meeting the needs of your students?
Having a personal connection moment with each student in the morning. We have a breakfast time before the students actually go to the classes, and I always make it a point to go around and greet each one of them by name, and then also be like, hey, how was the night before? And so even with my nonverbal students, I always make it a point to go up and I'll kind of rub their arm and be like, hey, how are you doing? And I'll make sure I share a smile, because I think that sets the tone so they know that I want what's best for them and I want it to be a positive day.
I would say the same thing. That was a great answer. Yeah, the breakfast time is a huge thing for us. A lot of our parents communicate. We do a lot of texting with our parents, so a lot of times they communicate when things are going on. Sometimes they don't, and sometimes they kind of stun us when we go to the breakfast and they're telling us, you're like, okay, that's our first avenue of like defense. Like, oh my goodness, I need to get the social worker on. It's a good free time that they can actually like just really communicate with us. Also developing that structure. Making sure that we have the sameness each day. And I try to, in all of my classes, like if we're doing one activity, it's the same type of activity for all of them. So they're getting equal areas of topics that we cover. So I'm not making sure that everybody's getting what they need.